What's going on, guys? Sharpshot here. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So for today's video, we're going to be looking at the top 5 underrated survivor perks in DBD. These are going to be survivor perks that are slept on and kind of looked over as not being as good as they really are. And with this top 5, I'm going to shed light on those that are the most slept on and that I actually think have really good value in any build and are actually really good perks. It's going to go from number 5 to number 1, with number 5 being the least underrated of the 5 and number 1 being the most underrated. But since this is the top 5, these are all definitely going to be super underrated perks. And for each perk, I'm going to explain why people think it's underrated and then go into why I actually think it's a really good perk. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Coming in at number 5, we have resilience. People overlook the fact that resilience gives a bonus action speeds to virtually every action in the game as a survivor. People always just think it gives bonus action speeds in repairing, healing, and unhooking, which is the basic 3 actions you usually do in a trial. But where this perk really shines is also giving bonus action speeds in opening the exit gate, vaulting, cleansing totems, sabotaging, and even opening chests. If you can stay injured in a trial, this allows you to be a super efficient survivor across the board. Literally every action you're gonna do is gonna be 9% faster at tier 3 when you're injured. So if you're able to stay away from the killer and stay injured, you're gonna be able to do everything super fast, which is gonna be really good for you and your teammates. Coming in at number 4, we have Lucky Break. Lucky Break has undergone a lot of changes in the recent months, and it actually not only suppresses bleeding, but now also suppresses scratch marks. And a lot of people overlook this perk because in the beginning, it only suppressed bleeding, and when they originally made a change to allow Lucky Break to suppress scratch marks as well, they made the duration of Lucky Break too short at 45 seconds. And now finally, they recently buffed it so that at tier 3, you're gonna have 60 seconds of Lucky Break. So when you get injured for the first time, you're virtually gonna be invisible for an entire minute at tier 3 from the killer, which basically means you're guaranteed an escape on your first chase because the killer is going to have such a hard time tracking you without being able to see your scratch marks or your bleeding. Coming in at number 3, we have Bite the Bullet. Bite the Bullet's perk description is pretty misleading in the fact that a lot of people think that it only makes you silent when you heal, but in reality, if you're healing someone else, it also applies the effect to them and they'll be silent as well. It's like an iron will whenever you heal, and it also applies an iron will to somebody else if you're healing them. So this can get you and your teammates out of really sticky situations by being stealthy and healing when you're right next to the killer, and they will not be able to hear you whatsoever. Coming in at number 2, we have Lithe. Lithe is really overshadowed by Sprint Burst and Dead Hard and being the best exhaustion perks in the game. Everybody always goes to those 2 perks when looking for an exhaustion perk in their build, but in reality, Lithe is a super good option, and in my opinion is actually the best exhaustion perk in the game. I made a whole video on why I think this, so I won't go into too much detail, but to summarize it, I think Lithe is better than those 2 because it's basically a controlled sprint burst, and the cons that sprint burst and Dead Hard have, Lithe makes up for it. The fact that you get to control the sprint burst by being able to control when you vault the pallet or when you vault the window to actually get that sprint burst off with Lithe is super good and allows you to escape chases really easily if you use it at the right time. Finally, coming in at number 1, we have Soul Guard. Soul Guard is overshadowed by Unbreakable because its description is really simple and it also lets you recover from the dying state faster, but in some situations I actually think Soul Guard is even better than Unbreakable. Soul Guard and Cheryl's 2 other teachable perks are thought to be pretty confusing perks because they have such long descriptions, and Soul Guard is no different. Its description is really long, but hidden at the bottom of Soul Guard's very lengthy description is its best asset in the fact that if you're afflicted by a hex totem or the curse status effect, you get to heal from the dying state. So pretty much as long as you're affected by a hex totem in the trial, you get to heal from the dying state as many times as you want, which is really nice and is better than Unbreakable's 1 time that you get to heal from the dying state. When you do actually heal from the dying state with Soul Guard, you also get a mini bar of time just to make sure that you don't get immediately down right back into the dying state, which happens a lot when the killer is right near you and you get healed from the dying state. They automatically go for you first to immediately put you back into the dying state, but with Soul Guard that won't happen and you'll get a bar of time and just zoom and escape away from the killer. With the current hex meta in DBD with the Undying and the Ruin and the Devour Hope combos, you're gonna get a ton of use out of this perk because the majority of the time you face killers, there's always gonna be a hex totem in the trial affecting you, so don't worry that you won't get use out of this because you definitely will. So yeah guys, those were the top 5 most underrated perks in Dead by Daylight. Let me know in the comments what you guys think is the most underrated perk in DBD. I'd be really curious to see what you guys think about that. So yeah guys, that's been the video. video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. This has been Sharpshot, and I will see you guys in the next video.